we'll get started with our gazpacho. And it is a cold vegetable soup. Nothing's cooked, it's all just mixed ingredients. It's almost like a salsa, right? And there's lots of ways that you can do it, lots of variations. One of the most important things about it is trying to remove as many of the cucumber seeds from your cucumbers as you possibly can. I've already got most of these peeled, cut, and ready, but I figured this last one I'll do with you. You want to get all the skin off. You don't want any of that green. Since it's not going to cook at all, this skin won't break down, so it'll be very firm. It'll be very tough to chew. Unless, of course, you really like the skin, then by all means. Now with this, I said most of the seeds out of it. If you were to take the time to remove every seed from this, you'd probably get about 2 ounces of zucchini out of a 2-pound vegetable. Okay? So we're going to get it as close as we possibly can. And I say that just in case of anyone with any medical issues, diverticulitis or Crohn's, for example. There are some seeds in this, okay? So please be careful with it. Now these, I took that whole fruit, I peeled it, I cut it in half, and then I cut it in half again into quarters. And the easiest way to take all the seeds out at once is to stand it up on its edge, so you have your round part to the back of your hand. Take your knife and cut it clean across. And when you flip it over, that takes most of the seeds out. And it takes most of that soft, mushy fruit out as well. The other reason you want to remove that is because that soft, mushy fruit, as it mixes in here, is going to break down and it's going to turn your product a little bit bitter. And the less you have, the better chance you have at having a more consistent product. That one actually got almost all of it out. Okay, once they're all removed, make sure you get any extra seeds off your board. You want to split them at least in half, if they're wider, in thirds. And naturally, this recipe calls for 4 cucumbers. Certain times of year, they're really small. No, yeah. These are zucchini, I'm sorry. No. They are cucumbers. These are larger, okay? If you get smaller ones, naturally you want to increase it slightly. Everything that you chop, you want to be at about the same size. And we're using a canned diced tomato. Everybody in here has used those before, correct? Maybe, kinda. So you know about what size they're going to be when you open the can. We want to try and get all of our vegetables about that same size. Now, most of this stuff I went ahead and chopped, but I left one of these peppers. I figured I'll show you one, green and yellow, cut the exact same way. This is going to sound silly, but always make sure you take your stickers off. You have no idea how many times I've bit into a pepper and found stickers. And I cut them up all the time and look down and go, and you got to go back through and pick them all out. So please make sure you take your stickers off first. The easiest way to cut a pepper, cut the bottom off, spin it around, cut right through the top, and take that stem out. Stand it back up, and then go right down the sides, and you make sure you take that white out, because that white will be very bitter, and nobody likes bitter. Slice them into strips. Now, how many people at home have really, really sharp knives that cut through peppers? 1 or 2? For the rest of us, if you take this pepper and flip it over and cut through the bottom, you can use any knife to do it. It's much simpler to cut through. When you cut through the top, it takes a lot more force to get through that outside skin. Ooh. I put that water on for the grits and the polenta about 40 minutes ago, and I'm kind of glad I did because it's almost deciding to boil. I learned from last time. It may help a little bit, but I'm glad I learned these stoves last week, so I knew this time to turn them on. We got 2 more to do real quick, and then we're going to cut that jalapeno. Now, last week, for those of you that were here, We left the seeds in the jalapeno. This week we're gonna take them out because I'm gonna use the whole thing. And you'll see, even with that whole pepper, it's still not gonna give you a whole lot of heat as long as you remove the seeds and the pith, which is that white part through the center. This one you do a little different. Cut the top off, split it long ways, and then you wanna remove all the white out of there, however you feel comfortable doing it. And then make sure you knock down all those seeds. With this, you want to chop it as fine as you can get. And the easiest way I know is to cut almost all the way through your pepper from the bottom, leaving the very, very top of it attached. Right? And that'll hold it together for you as you cut across it. And then when you get to the very end, you just turn it the opposite direction. That'll help you get it cut relatively small. We're gonna do the same thing with this one, get the white out of it. You can with these, just pull, okay? And you can see, even with no knife and just my fingers, I was still able to get all that out of there, right? We'll do the same thing, we'll just cut it most of the way through, just leaving the top attached. Okay. We're going to open this, and we are not going to remove the juice from that. The liquid from that, since we're going to add tomato juice to it, is already a good thing. This is the liquid those tomatoes are cooked in, so it's going to have more nutrients, it's going to have more flavor, and everything that was intended to be in this can is going to be in here already. Now for this, we're going to use glass because I like glass bowls. They hold temperature a little bit better. I put that one in the refrigerator about a half hour ago, let it chill down. The reason I chill these is just it will help cool your products faster. We want to eat this in about 45 minutes. Naturally, by having the bowl cool, putting everything in it cool, it will help cool everything down faster. If you have all day to do it, if you're going to do it the day before, doesn't matter, you can let it sit, okay? Couldn't get that bowl in your refrigerator, is that it? Make it in the wintertime, you can leave the bowl outside. Okay, the hard part about this is getting everything chopped. And once it's all chopped, it's just a matter of mixing it all together. Now on there it says diced tomatoes. This particular brand of diced tomatoes is an Italian style. And the reason I picked this is it's got garlic and herbs in it. Well, half our recipe is garlic and herbs. Can't hurt to do it. There's about 8 different flavors of these downstairs. There's a garlic and herb, there's an Italian, there's multiple different things. Try a different flavor, try a different variety, anything that you see that you may like. Now, I'm not sure if this bowl is going to be quite big enough. We may have to mix it in a separate one and then put it back in our chilled bowl. Again, the reason we're using multiple peppers, they don't really have that different of a flavor profile, but they look a whole lot different. And it'll go from light green to dark green to bright yellow to bright red. And it should help us with our presentation when we're ready. Jalapeno for flavor. Now this recipe also calls for hot sauce. I know not everybody likes hot sauce, feel free to leave it out. I put hot sauce in everything, unfortunately. Oh, that's the biggest bowl we have. So what we're going to do is just split it in half. This way we don't make such a mess. I know the guy's got to clean up and he doesn't want to deal with it. Now, normally I use fresh garlic, but I wanted to show you that minced garlic is not a terrible thing, okay? This stays in your fridge a lot longer than fresh garlic does. It's a whole lot easier to work with. You just need a tiny bit more of it. We're going to split these up equally since we're doing them in 2. And we're going to use tomato paste. And the reason I use tomato paste is just to give it a little bit of body. As we add our other tomato sauce and we mix it down, this is going to help thicken that liquid and give it a little more consistency. Now it says tomato juice. What is this? Who knows what's in this bottle? Tomato juice, herbs, garlic, salt and pepper. Everything that's already in our sauce, right? And you have something else to do with it when you're done. I don't personally like tomato juice. I like this because it's already flavored. And it's got all the flavors that we're already putting in here. This is a mild version. There is a spicy version if you do like things hotter. About 2 cups and a few drops of hot sauce. That was a little bit, I promise. A little bit of pepper. Now, because this tomato paste is in here, you're going to have to work a little bit to get it all mixed together. Your hands work best of anything because you can actually feel those clumps and you can break them down more thoroughly. And once we mix this together, we're going to combine the two back together so it'll help get them even and consistent. But like that tomato paste, I could feel it sticking to my fingers. If you use a spoon in this, you may end up with clumps. And you don't want to crush your vegetables. And I know tendency with spoon is to kind of smush things together. This way you can actually fold it through your fingers and you can tell what's clumping and what's there, but not actually break any of it up. Now this is technically a soup, so there is a little bit of liquid in it, but it's not a soup in a traditional sense where it's going to be really, really runny. You want it to kind of be a salsa consistency. More Campbell's chunky soup than tomato soup, okay? Now we have one pot that's ready. We are going to throw this in the refrigerator for about 45 minutes till we're finished this evening, and then we're going to garnish it with a little bit of fresh parsley, and we're going to serve it. Now for gazpacho, one of the best ways to serve it is in a glass. Martini glass, wine glass, just something different. You can add a lemon slice or a lime slice or some fresh herbs in it. Any type of small ladle or cup will give you a nice bright color, and it lets everybody see what's in your glass. And we have some limes. It's kind of got that summery feel. And we also have a little bit of parsley, and we're going to chop some of this down to sprinkle on top of our bowl of grits. But I'd simply kind of lay it through the center, okay?